Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now today I've been busy. I had to go to Foot Health first thing in the morning, then go and visit my dad, then pick up Jack from school, and I just haven't stopped. And now I'm covered in swatches and all ready to show you this. You can never keep me down when there's a new Charlotte Tilbury release. Yes, this is her new Bejewelled Eyes to Hypnotise, which is her Christmas palette. She has released for 48 hours only, and I understand it's going off sale tomorrow. It's out for 48 hours, so it's going off sale at some point tomorrow, and then it will be back later on in the month. Okay, and this is what it looks like, so let me just show you. Okay, she still has that plastic sheet that says Prime Enhanced Smoke, and I'm not really sure why she does that, because some of these shades are clearly not smoke shades. I mean, that is not a smoke shade. I think we need to do away with that now, although she calls it a smoke shade. That is not a smoky shade. Anyway, so that is the palette. Now, I've got lots of things to say about this. I'm going to try and split this up into sections. So I did a little look, a very simple look using the Happy Glow, which I will rush through later on. But first of all, I'm going to show you some swatches. Then I'm going to do some comparisons and my initial thoughts about what they reminded me of. And then my look and my thoughts about whether or not you need this palette. So stay tuned. Okay, let's have a closer look at this palette, shall we? First of all, first of all, we have Happy Glow, okay? And I'm going to show you some arm swatches of that coming up now. Okay, and then we have Love Glow, and I'm going to show you that on the palest part of my arm now. Okay, then we have Dreamglow, and again, here's a swatch coming up now. And finally, we have Seduce Glow, and here's some swatches coming up now. Okay, now when I saw this online, of course I'm going to buy it and I'm going to review it for you guys. You know that's always going to happen. I've got to admit, I wasn't that inspired because it reminded me of so many other palettes that Charlotte has brought out. And I'm going to do some sort of more in-depth comparisons in a minute. And I'm going to show you all the 4 palettes side by side. I managed to get a picture of that, and I hope it will all fit in so that you can see them side by side. But I will be honest, I kind of thought, it looks a bit samey. And I did check, and it does say in the description bar that they are all new shades. So Charlotte, if you suddenly say that it's a repeat shade somewhere, I've screenshot it this time. So, you know, don't try anything. Anyway, I think having a look at all my palettes, as much as I've been able to today, there are no repeat shades. However, the first thing that struck me was that they're called Happy Glow, Love Glow, Dream Glow and Seduce Glow, which are exactly the same names for the trios as last year's Starry Eyes to Hypnotise. So similar name of palette, Bejewelled Eyes to Hypnotise, Starry Eyes to Hypnotise, and the same names for the trios, although they're not all the same shades, obviously. However, the first 2 sets are very similar, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so just for fun, should we have a look at all the 4 palettes that she's released together. So they're all kind of in order, with the most recent at the top, and then the furthest one away at the bottom. 4 palettes that she's brought out, the 4 large palettes I'm talking about. These 3, 6, 9, 12 pan palettes, right? She tends to bring out one a year. And so we're going all the way back to the curry palette, as you know. And if you don't know why I call it the curry palette, just put a comment and I'll explain. I've been through that story so many times. Okay, so here's the picture now. Okay, now I haven't been through any of my instant looking palettes yet, but I immediately, when I saw some of these, they reminded me of certain things. So we're going to go through what they remind me of, okay? Now, the first thing to say is that these 2 trios are very similar. They're not the same, but they are very similar to last year's Starry Eyes to Hypnotise. And I'm going to show you a picture of that here, because I've swatched them together, and I've also put the 2 palettes together so that you can see them. These 2 trios side by side with Starry Eyes to Hypnotise. Okay, so, but what is different is that we then have a purpley hued trio, which with last year it was more of a kind of rebel khaki green. And then at the end here, we have a kind of brown goldy trio, which last year it was more kind of black silver. So these 2 are not a similar kind of scheme to last year's palette. So let's get into what the trios, so this trio definitely reminded me of last year's trio, and you will have just seen that, and so did this. But this one also reminded me of Walk of No Shame. So I thought I would swatch you some comparisons with Walk of No Shame and Love Glow. Okay, and also what I did is I stuck in a swatch of the Walk of No Shame Jewel Eye Pot that has just come out. Coming up next. Okay, so let's move on to Dreamglow. Now, any of you that have been following me for a while know that I love my purples. And I do like this. This is my favourite trio of the palette. I like the shade of purple. It's a little bit cooler, because a lot of her purples tend to be quite warm, even in Glamour Muse. And it's kind of how I would like Glamour Muse to have been. This trio, and I think I'm going to get a lot of use, and I can't wait to do a look with it. I'll probably do a look tomorrow, but I do like this. And there are, though, a couple of things that are quite similar to this trio, so that's going to come up next. Okay, so as you can see, the mesmerizing maroon is quite similar, but not the same, because this I wouldn't call a maroon. It's a kind of cooler purple, but it's similar. And also we have the celestial palette of pops. There's so many similar names now, I'm getting confused. Celestial, mesmerizing, bejeweled, and they're all eyes to hypnotize or mesmerize, and they're very, very similar names, and it always confuses me, but I'm really doing my best not to mess up. Okay, so yeah, those are quite similar, I think, but the Celestial palette of pops is obviously more kind of topper shades. The mesmerizing maroon is quite similar, as you'll have just seen. And then we're moving on to the last trio, which is Seduce Glow. And the one that I think really reminded me of that is the Golden Goddess. So I swatched them together here. Okay, now I will say in conclusion, although the first and second trios are very similar to last year's Starry Eyes to Hypnotise, I think that this is a little bit more versatile than last year's, because I know myself, I didn't really use the last trio a lot in last year's set, which is the kind of silvery black trio, very cool. Some people love that when they've got cool undertones. I just didn't get a lot of use out of it. And the greens, I think that I would probably get a lot more use out of this, because you've got your browns and you've got your golds and you've got your purples and you've got your maroons. So very Christmassy colours, and it's a very pretty palette. I also like the fact that apart from in Dreamglow, there is a matte in each trio, which I think is very good. I think if you're a collector, you're going to find it a little bit samey. If you're not a collector and you want a nice gift for Christmas, it is very pretty. Let me just show you the front of the palette. So just to compare it with last year's. Last year's was kind of this blue design. This year we've got this silver design. And I wonder, because last year she brought out a makeup bag that had the blue design on it, and other things that had similar designs. I wonder if this is going to be part of a Christmas collection with other kind of things in the similar packaging. We shall see, won't we? I think it's a good buy, £60, when the quads are now £40. I wasn't overly excited because I'm a collector and I think there's a lot of very similar shades in it, but I do think it's a lovely combination. And as I've said before, if you're going to get ready or you're going away for Christmas, you don't want to get out 20 palettes. So I think that this is a very good buy. The texture is very good. It's very creamy, very good to just put on with your fingers on the lids. I got a very simple look out of this, and overall, you know, it's Charlotte Tilbury, it's Christmas, and she knows how to package stuff for Christmas and bring out some lovely festive colours. So I'm quite happy with this. It's not my mega excited, because there isn't anything that mega stands out, but I will say that the favourite is those three purple tone shades for me. I think the purple, it's a cooler purple, but it's quite different to our other warmer purples, which is nice, and I'm loving that. And I will do a look with that next. But talking of looks, I wanted to finish off by doing a quick look, and I just basically put it on fast forward, and I will do a voiceover before I finish off. Just a quick note before I start. I filmed this earlier and a lot of it's washed off because I'm really suffering with hay fever. You probably saw the tears rolling down my cheek earlier. Okay, I was in a lot of a rush today with lots to do, so I wanted to make this simple. So I'm just going in with the enhanced shade of that trio because it's a matte shade. I'm putting that into the socket and blending it in with a blending brush. As you can see, I'm putting a little bit in the outer corner. So easy to blend as usual. And then with my finger, I'm just putting on the smoke shade, which as you can see is not really a smoky shade, as I said before, but it's beautiful on the eyelids and it applies beautifully with the finger. And then I took the prime shade and put some of that under my brow, and I dotted a little bit in the middle of my eye. So really simple. And then I took an eyeliner brush, and then I went in with, sorry, just had to check then. So I went in with the enhanced shade of Seduce Glow, which is a dark chocolate brown from the last trio, just to line my lids under and over. And then I actually used it to fill in my brows, which I had filled in earlier, but I trimmed them yesterday and there's quite a few gaps showing. So I thought, yeah, just use that because pigment is pigment. And actually it really works on my brows because it's a kind of lighter brown than I've been using. So yeah, that's it. And then I decided to use a lip liner that I've got from Lancome, which is a tangerine lip liner. All the details will be in the description bar, and I filled in with that. And then I finished off by using Charlotte Tilbury's Carinas, not Carina's Love, Carina's Star. That's right. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. This palette is going to retail for £60. It's still out to buy at the moment, but get in there quick because they're removing it from sale very shortly. It's only been on sale for 48 hours and it came out yesterday morning. So I think between the 10th and the 12th of September, and today is, I don't know what today is. Is it the 11th or the 10th? I think it's the 10th. So anyway, it's not out for very long, but it will be coming back at the end of September if you can't afford to get it yet or you want to wait and see. I will continue to do some looks with it. If you've got any questions, this is £60 and there are 3, 6, 9, 12 shades in it, and it's a very lovely, pretty palette. What more can I say? Any questions, please leave a comment below. And if you want to know, if you didn't catch what I was putting on my face or any of the products that I didn't mention during the video, have a look in the description bar. It's all down there. Coming up next, I have finally got the plug for my microdermabrasion. So I'm going to be taking all of this off this evening and filming me microdermabrasing my face. I hope I'm okay with it. All right, take care and I'll see you all very soon. Love you all. Bye-bye. Mwah.